there's too much uncertainty. What we really need to do is to get through the next probably 3 years, 4 years, so we get to our new building, and then we're gonna have so many efficiencies that should get us back on track as far as not deficit money. But we're gonna have to be very careful for the next couple of years, because obviously we're not gonna have additional levies. We're done with, we're not gonna ask the community for any more money. So they have to be careful. So looking at that, you'll see, with fiscal 25, when you go down to line 6.0, our expected deficit for the year is $224,000. It's important to note that we do have a savings that we're able to take that out of, and it's been going down every year. We haven't had actual excess revenue since 2022 when the first ESSER money appeared. But we do have a cash balance that we can take this out of, and that will lower it by that. The other thing about this, and I know we talked about this before, the school buses, we do have some things in these new school buses. Ms. Gerber wants to do a textbook adoption at probably $300,000 or $400,000. I don't have those things built into the forecast. Hopefully we can do the textbook adoption out of the permanent improvement. The school buses will have to wait. That's not really something where our permanent improvement is worried that we can take school buses out of that, and I really don't want to increase this deficit by more than that. I feel like our mechanics will be able to get us through with the buses we have, hopefully. And then maybe in the next state budget, maybe there will be some more money for the school buses. It's been 2 years since the state did any funding. And you know, school buses over $100,000. One school bus. So that's quite a bit. The other thing I wanted to point out, going forward, when you see fiscal 29, I know we're going to talk about that, but when you see that huge deficit, that big red number, that $1.9 million, realize that is because our emergency levy that was renewed for 10 years will be up to be renewed again. The first thing we do is March of 2028 is the first time we can go on as a renewal. If it isn't passed in time, the collections will come off half year in fiscal 29. That would be $770,000 because the same thing splits over 2 years. So that's why you see that big deficit there in the last year. And with that, are there any questions?
We're going to need probably, we need school buses now, but we're probably going to need more when the school is built also. Correct. So we probably need
I don't really know. We do have new software. I don't know that we're really going to need more routes because we're not going to have so much of the I'll go into different buildings and shuttling back and forth in there, you know. And, you know, a lot of our parents bring their students to school. So there's that.
There's maybe not, because I know that was a concern. That was probably one of the only negatives I saw was still more busing. So I just thought maybe we should budget that in case we need more buses for when we build.
And that is something, if there is any additional funds left when we get the bill, the way that this was worded, the way that you just approved that resolution and the actual ballot language before, it is money that could be used to it. So we would be able to use that money to buy buses if we had to. But I'm not sure that it's going to be that much worse. And the problem really isn't going to be school buses, it's going to be bus drivers. Mm-hmm. You know, we just don't, our maintenance and custodial staff right now are driving daily, at least 3 of them every single day, because we don't have enough drivers, you know, so that's an issue. So that's where we're at. We're still looking at a deficit this year. Not a big one, but obviously we have to be careful going forward.
We have a motion to approve items 1 through 6 on your treasurer reports.
So moved.
Second? Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Norris?
Yes.
Mrs. Burkett?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenbaum?
Yes.
Personnel?
Yes, we have several cooks who have resigned, Amanda Garwood and Ashley Mora. We have Elizabeth Gonzalez from Maplehurst, special needs aide, who is resigning. Jamie Brooker, she is our Main Street advisor, Norwalk Middle School drama advisor, she is resigning as well. There's reason for that, so I will talk in private if questions on that front. Beth Stockmaster, assistant high school cheerleading coach, she shared a contract with another one, so she has reasons. So she is resigning that 50% of that contract of a paid high school cheerleading contract. So yeah, the positive news, we have a replacement for those two cooks. Julia Alejandro and Ethan Gilbert, they will be our cook replacements for Amanda and Ashley. And then we have a healthy list, as we like to have and we've talked, we have these healthy lists, but we need to make sure those people are actually working, because sometimes, Mr. Ballman works, they're on the certified and classified list, and they're not always available. So it's a very limited window in which that person can work. So you would think we have a pool that is so deep, but it doesn't always match the number that we actually board approve on a monthly basis. So there's your list of both certified and classified. 4 under supplemental contracts. Samantha Davis will be assuming that position as for Jamie Brooker. So she is working hard right now with our kids. And that's our next production is Elf Junior. So that's in this month yet. And then we flip-flopped it. So last year was Main Street and then the middle school. This year it's the middle school production. And then in the new year will be the Main Street production. So our choir director who you saw on stage here for National Honor Society, Samantha Davis, she'll be assuming that position. Pupil activity contracts, Madison Shutt. So she was the one that was sharing 50-50 with Beth Stockmaster. She now will be there all the time and have 100% of that contract as an assistant cheer coach. We have a nice list, and this is always great to see, the volunteer coaches that are helping our program out. So we have girls basketball and wrestling there as listed at Norwalk High, and then several names listed as well for Norwalk Middle School. Mathematical stipend, this is a high school math teacher. She was previously approved for a 3-day, and this AQR grant was actually a 4-day. So basically what I'm asking for is your approval for her to be paid on that 4th day, because it was originally signed up as a 3-day event. We have one additional name for Mr. Spettle, a high school math teacher and STEM teacher at Norwalk Middle School, Lisa Wilson, and she's going to be helping with the after-school study table program. This is exciting. So Joyce spoke to this on school bus training. So if we could have a healthy pool of people listed there, that's what we want to see. But Rodney Boardman is currently in training, and he is working to hopefully be one of our future drivers and run a route for us. So that is what I have in that first block of personnel.
Great. We have a motion to approve items listed down under personnel. Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Burkett?
Yes.
Mr. Whitmore?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Norris?
Yes. Continuing with personnel, we have a volunteer coach in Eric Gonzalez, who will be assisting with the boys basketball program.
We have a motion to approve items 10 under personnel.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitmore?
Yes.
Mr. Norris?
Yes.
Mrs. Burkett? Yes. Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Abstain.
Superintendent report.
Yeah, number 1, North Central ESC. That's a technology contract to maintain our phones. So that's an as-needed basis. So we only pay if they have to assist us with our phone network. So that's for the 24-25 this school year. Number 2, a new story contract for student placement. You see the dollar figure that's attached to that for one student for the 24-25 school year. And 3, that is directly from our attorneys, Pepple and Wagner. Senate Bill 29 and FERPA compliance. That's tied to our policy language that was passed at a previous board meeting. So that is updated language that needs to be addressed. So that is all I have, Madam President.
We have a motion to approve items 1 through 3 under superintendent's report. Second? Second. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Norris?
Yes.
Mrs. Burkett? Yes. Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
For discussion.
Oh, so I had the opportunity to go to the OSBA Capital Conference out of Columbus. I just went on Monday, and I went to a couple of different sessions. So the first session was, when you right up Joyce's alley, it was all about like state funding, how our income taxes affect, funding your school districts, kind of some trends that they're seeing, with, income taxes, the levies passing, that has been down. So again, like, we are super fortunate to have a community that is fully supporting a new school, because there's a lot of districts that aren't being given that opportunity. So that was a really good one. I took lots of notes. The second one I went to was about different teaching styles and how to build a new school around the teaching styles, like different designs that incorporate the types of teaching that our staff would provide, or if it's project-based learning, or other types of strategies. So I thought that was really cool, getting to see some pictures of different schools, different styles. And then the last thing I went to was the board delegate, conference piece where, we honored the teacher of the year. We voted on a few different things, and it was really cool. Met some people and kind of had all this, so learned a lot.
Thank you. Exciting. I was thinking you had a couple notes that you shared with me. I'm trying to think of the one I was thinking.
Was it like the living stuff?
Yeah.
So.
Sorry.
So the few things. Okay. There were a couple of things that the Ohio School Board Association was proposing for amendments to like their workbook, and really with that it gives them permission to lobby or even talk to legislators to try to push for different things. So the two things that passed, and I put down the numbers but not the actual language. So the First Amendment had to do with CRAs being exempted, like school districts would not have to pay into, hold on, how did I phrase it when I asked you about it?
So they exempt school districts from losing any taxpayer funds when a CRA or a TIF or any type of other economic development is implemented. They did this at Cleveland City Schools. You might have heard a lot of like the downtown area, they are doing this big economic development project, but they have exempted the schools from losing any money in the project.
How do they do that? How do they reimburse from?
Well, they still have to pay their taxes to the school. So they're only not paying other taxing entities.
Okay.
And that doesn't always, because the schools are the biggest recipient of property taxes, so that's not always makes it such a benefit, but, and there's different things like a TIF is slightly different than a CRA. So a TIF is where the tax increment financing, they take the money and they reinvest it into infrastructure. So that is still paying all the taxes, it's just going to put like, sewage and water and all that in there, but, in that case, they still make sure that the school districts are,
That makes a lot of sense, especially in a situation that is going on here where, we bring in all these people, but we're not making any money to teach the children, to hire teachers, to bus drivers, buses. So that's,
Right.
that's big.
And especially when it's residential, because residential, you might think like a business, which is what TIFs are normally done for. Our enterprise zone is usually geared towards a business. Well, maybe a business may not be making more,
Kids.
Right,
Bringing more kids
there's
in.
nowhere, they don't need more services from the school.
Right.
So when you have residential, they're going to be requiring more services from the school. So if you're exempting them from paying tax, it's really difficult for the school to try to do that. And anyhow, there's the whole unfairness of it all. Like, we should all be in this together. I'm paying my taxes, you should pay your taxes too. And, the fact that you and I are both paying it means we're paying less instead of me paying the whole thing. So there's the fairness. But I was really glad to see that OSBA did stand up and take that stand for that, because it's a huge thing. I feel now that this has kind of flown under the radar with a lot of economic development. Now different communities are doing it. I think it was Olmsted Falls and then sent out. They are taking it back because they realized that it wasn't good. It wasn't good for the taxpayers. It wasn't good for schools. And they're getting rid of it.
So currently, it's a choice. It's the choice of the city who's putting a CRA in place. if someone's exempt, but this is voting so that schools are always exempt.
Well, this
Am I
is
right?
saying that this is what they want on, this is their lobbying platform, their legislative platform. So the different organizations lobby for different things. So they're out there pushing for different things, and this is what they're going to lobby
Right.
for.
Yep.
So it doesn't make any rules. It just says that they're, when bills are up, they're gonna, this is their
Pushing it.
platform.
Right,
this is what
right,
they're gonna
right.
push for.
Pull up my
That's what
phone.
you do.
I pulled up my phone because I took a note on the other, areas that we voted on that passed was, basically like to request records. Right now, there's no way to like pay for the labor, the time that it takes to find records or anything like that. So the other areas that they would like to lobby for that passed, was to get reimbursement from the labor, not just the materials that it takes for the requested records.
For
Public
For
records.
Public
yes,
records?
yes. So that also passed. The one thing that failed, it was an amendment proposed by one of the, other school districts, I think that was the school district. They wanted to propose an amendment that changed basically the language of the members that can represent like a vocational school board. So there wasn't any change to that or how that's represented. That was just something that was proposed back in May. So.
And that was a change of law, I don't know, it's been a while back, where they changed who could represent the, you didn't even have to be a school board member. It could just be somebody from the community, and it's like, well, that doesn't really, how did they lay it on with the school? Interesting.
Thank you, thanks for going, and thanks for bringing some information back. I mean, I find it very interesting, and it is good to know, because I think that, you know, our part, I know that Brad goes to the meetings, Mayor Light has a lot of wonderful ideas and things coming up for the community, what does he call it, the development?
Comprehensive plan.
Thank
That
you.
rollout actually is next Tuesday.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm really excited about all that and what he has planned, and I feel like, you know, for us up here, I mean, having the opportunity to build the new school, having the funding come from the state, and then having the community support, we're doing our part as much as we can to help build up Norwalk and make it a great place to be, not that it isn't already, but just continuing our part in making our education system the best. So I'm hoping we can continue to work with the mayor, and I think that that's good to know, and hopefully he sees that we're doing our part to bring, you know, people in and show them why Norwalk's the best place to live.
I think you're seeing that, talking to a friend in a nearby district. When a person goes to this city and you see what's happening in development, it feels things like we talked about on the rise for our kids in Norwalk City School District. It's the feel in the city too.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about the parks, we talk about what draws people here. Like that feeling exists in our city. And obviously, you know, the stamp for our schools, that just, it says so much for what's happening right now.
the theater that's been remodeled.
Those special things that might be reserved for a bigger city, a more urban, because we can't do that. We're having capacity and resources, we're getting things done. Gonna do a handoff to Mr. Ballman, who's working on with energy optimizers. Obviously, we're being careful and smart with the money that we're putting in to the other 5 kid buildings, but we know this is gonna be with us for a long period of time. So we're looking at what can we do here to be more efficient.
Next week, we are having a meeting with energy optimizers. And we've been involved working with them on some other projects. For example, our exterior lighting throughout the district is part of our safety grant with our boilers. This time we are going to participate in a lighting audit, looking at our lights. I mean, these are our staging, looking at the EPAC in the foyer area, library, and possibly even here, I'm looking at becoming more efficient, whether it's through LED lighting. So they're going to do a pretty comprehensive audit to see what's going to be involved in either replacing, either through a retrofit or completely replacing the fixtures. Because we do, as Mr. Katie and I talked the other day, go through a lot of bulbs.
Didn't we
Hundreds
do
of them.
that not too long? What was that caught? Was that the
Yes.
cafeteria? Didn't we replace everything? I thought that's something that we were looking at 2 years ago.
Right, and we have funds, so we have an account that the high school has built, you've heard about that, and obviously we deplete a little bit with our purchase here, with the HVAC. But there's money available, that's what we're looking to use here, because this is long-term permanent thing. And you look even at like the amount of usage this facility is getting from our school and from community-based, like we're looking to revamp this, because this was great, state-of-the-art in 2000, 2001. It was, and now we're looking like, what can we do, how we, present. So we're not having this set up. Things are on the wall, things you can look up in the ceiling, people can hear you. Because to me, you can project and people generally can hear you, but in smaller groups, you need audio, you need like all those technical things need to be improved here. So we're looking to do that in this space, and the EPAC is getting used a lot too. There are people that are renting that space. So when they rent that space, in order to charge them for what they're gonna pay, we gotta make sure it's a top-notch facility. The lighting can't be frazzled in, out, like you may have seen just a few minutes ago, where a light goes in, light goes out, like that happens on the stage. So we're looking at that piece, we're looking at house lights as well. But that part packaged together, we can get what we believe is better.
And 2 years ago, when we applied for the Renew America School Grant, they did somewhat of a smaller scale audit of our lighting. At that time, we were looking at, rebates. There's a huge advantage of going to LED lighting, more efficient and more cost effective. So hopefully we can.
Okay, so they just did an audit, and never really.
No, I mean, that was part of the Renew America School Grant.
We didn't get that.
No.
We applied for it,
Okay.
but we didn't receive it, and then as part of that, they did all the exterior lighting, because that was something that they looked at. So then when we got the safety grant, we already had the audit, they had done.
Okay.
So if you look at our parking lots, they are.
A lot brighter.
They were switched out, smaller and brighter, and that's what you get
Okay.
with these.
And with the safety grant, that was all exterior. If you go by Main Street, it's a little more lighting there now. So a lot of those were aging and replaced the fixtures, convert them all to LED.
I know there's true cost savings there. One of our medical facilities in Bellevue, it's one of our larger ones, but it's dated to say the least. And we went through 5 years ago actually, which is on the Kerner, and we changed all the lights to LED, and our electric bill went down by half. So I can only imagine a facility this big, if you put that money in, you invest it, and just that alone, it pays for itself rather quickly.
And you look at the amount of labor, changing bulbs, and
Yeah,
it's not an easy task either.
So that's great.
To do with solar panels, that people on the outside ask me, what is solar panels, what's installed?
With the new building, we're looking at doing, they want to have, green certification, so that is something to go look at, different things and like daylighting.
Having some of the schools put them on, the new builds, put them on the roof or something like that.
I think we could over the house. Or the parking lot, the change the parking lot, the parking lot cooler, and then, you've got the solar panel there.
There's so many efficiencies now. I mean, with our new buildings in Dusty, we have it so that you come in, the lights turn on, you leave after a while, the lights turn off, you don't have to worry about people not turning off lights, you don't have to worry about all these things. So many efficiencies that we can do in new build, but I think that if we're able to change all this LED, we're gonna see significant savings.
And some school buildings, they have it too, when the kids leave, the teacher leaves, the lights go off.
It'd also be temperature changes too. I don't know how it senses that, but
Any other board discussion? All right, so executive session, we have a motion to move into executive session for superintendent treasurer evaluation. Second? Roll call, please.
Mr. Norris?
Yes.
Mrs. Burkett?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Ritzenhour?
yes.
There will be no action after.